my god. No, it's El Morenito that comes out in
Oh yes, the little short one.
No, he's not short. He's
Is that a tall one?
Oh, jeez. This is my friend Nancy. We have been friends for a while now. We've known each other from Westwood College. Westwood what? Huh? What? So hey guys, we're gonna prep her face first, and we're gonna have this girl talk, and we're gonna use the new patches by Mary Kay, just to, you know, pretty much
Ooh, they're nice and cool, refreshing.
make sure I'm not getting it inside your eye.
Good.
Okay. Take 3. So today, the reason why I wanted to invite Nancy, she has been starting she started a new journey, more like life coach type of business, and to help uplift others, and you know, because the world can be very cruel, and we can be facing a lot of, like, you know, obstacles in our life when we're trying to, like, either some of us that are entrepreneurs that are trying to build a business, or we face challenges, self-doubt, you know, we have insecurities, or that are like roadblocks to getting to your goal. So she's always very positive, and I love watching her stories, and she makes me feel great, like love, like, oh, thank you so much for starting that. You're like honestly one of the most genuine people that I've ever met, and I'm very grateful to, you know, call you my friend. So, and thank you for coming and sharing with the girls that are watching my channel, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one that goes through these things. And the topics that we're going to be talking about today, it's about woman empowerment, and how to overcome any type of negativity in order for you to reach your goals and dreams. So yeah, as in the first topic I'm gonna ask Nancy about is self-esteem.
Perfect. So self-esteem, I think, is one of the biggest things that we all wake up knowing that we have an issue, right? We right away put ourselves into this kind of just box, and we box ourselves in to only think that we're the only individuals that we're going through it, right? It's only us. But in reality, self-esteem it comes with how you react to things, right? So a lot of the times we take that, and I think we take it to our heart instead of just thinking, you know, everyone goes through this. This is just another thing that's getting me closer to what I need to accept, right? And once we accept that one thing we can't accept, we just get over that, and our self-esteem feels great, right? Same thing when you wake up in the morning, and you know, you've heard, and again, you know, we're Latina women, and we're like, you know, te levantas con el pie derecho, right? You guys all know that? Waking up on the right foot, right? You're just on the go. When you wake up on the other side of the bed, you just don't know how your emotions are going that day. And that is, again, that's your ritual, how your morning started. It could have been with the text message you saw first thing that you woke up that really ruined your morning already, and it wasn't a good one, right? It could have been second thing, your baby is coming to you and asking you for cereal first thing in the morning, and you haven't even got up from your bed. So all these things, we don't realize that these things affect us, and again, it's going against our day. So thinking about those, you know, little things, it's just like, wow, I should take a step back and really just frame it. So if I know my son, or if I know, you know, someone's gonna call me or text me by 7 o'clock, maybe I want to beat them to the clock, and I want to start my day better. And that all comes with your self-esteem. You know, it won't be down, and 2, I'm gonna be able to perform just the way I want it to.
Nice.
So I think that's a huge thing.
I struggled with self-esteem issues for a very long time, and a lot of people, you know, I'm sharing this with my heart to the girls, because I know that I'm not the only one that has gone through that stuff, and this is not for you to, I'm not being vulnerable for you to attack me and use that against me. I'm using it so you can probably, it could help you as well. And because I was always afraid of what people would think if I shared my story, or, you know, I don't know, like I've always been scared to really, like, tell people you know, about my stuff. I'm always joking, I'm always bubbly and all this stuff, but you know what? I went through so much pain in my life growing up as a child, and that cost me, it started damaging me. It started making, like, if I had a little cut and it started just, every time something happened to me, it just kept ripping open and open and open and open, and then people would come to my life and they were like the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol that would pour into my wound, and they would, you know, it would hurt and cause pain. So one of the reasons is that I was working on myself for so long, so I can, you know, be able to be here and sit through a video, and it's not easy to share, you know, how you feel, you know, or how you felt. But when I just never felt like I was enough growing up. Since I was a kid, I was a late bloomer. Girls were bullies with me. I mean, I think till this day I have been facing that. Girls can be very cruel. I mean, I'm not saying that I was never like that, and I'm probably, you know, pain for probably causing pain to one girl that I remember, and when I was little, which is something really dumb about, like, this candy. It had to do with candy, okay, and me not liking this girl. And I'm not gonna share it too deep, but pretty much I kind of feel like, damn, what am I, you know, what did I do to deserve this? And then I always remember that girl. I'm like, wow, you know, that was really mean what I did, and then, like, I need to just forgive myself and move forward. And but yeah, self-esteem was a struggle for me, because all the boys liked all my friends, but they didn't like me because I was a late bloomer. I didn't have boobies, I didn't, you know, I had a unibrow, I have hairy arms, a mustache. And, you know, my sister was always a pretty one, and they would always like, ah, Anita la más bonita, and they would look at we would walk in the street. I remember when we were in a Swami de Costa Mesa, and they looked at my sister and they told my mom, oh, qué bonita su hija. They looked at me, they didn't say anything. Dude,
Yeah.
that's amazing what people can, like, the damage people do, you know, without even knowing, subconsciously, you know. But
I think that's a huge thing, and a lot of people, and, you know, thank you, Sally, for introducing me like that. I mean, really just myself empowering other women. I mean, this girl you see here has gone through a lot, just like Araceli, you know, and again, I'm being vulnerable, completely honest and transparent, and I just have the privilege to be able to do that. But this is a girl who had to set the standard, right? Being, you know, the oldest of four. My parents separated when I was 18 months. I'm the only child from mom and dad. And growing up in a family where now I have, you know, I have dad, I have stepdad, I have mom, and I have other siblings. I mean, that was a hard transition, right? And growing up as a child, you're confused. You're confused, you go through a lot. Right, you go through pain, you go through bullying, you go through all these things. I'm very fortunate that bullying never got to my skin, and then not only that, but then I have a father, my biological father, who abandons me for, you know, 20 years, until I myself at the age of 22 went out there and looked for him. And when I went through that phase, I mean, you could imagine a little girl stopped seeing her dad at 6 years old. Dad is nowhere to be known or seen. You go through a lot, you know, you go through a lot, and you want to discover who you are really at the end of the day. Your brothers and sisters don't look like you, right? I don't have a twin brother or a twin sister. And it's even more ironic when people in the street stop me and they're like, oh, you look like, you know, my niece, or you look like this person. I'm like, oh, probably. I don't know if my dad had any more kids. You know, that is pretty sad to know that you don't even know what's happening, right? And no one else is like you. And one of my biggest dreams when I was little, I remember just, can my mom and dad just go back in the closet and make another person like me, so I could share, common, I don't know, characteristics, common knowledge, just to have that talk, right? And why? Because at the end of the day, I felt empty. I can't share it to my brother and my sister. They're not really from my real dad or my real mom. I can't open up about other things because they're not gonna understand me. It was so hard until this day. At the age of 22, I find my dad, and this man is just who I remembered, on the same voice at 6 years old. And you think about yourself, you're like, whoa, you know. And then this father that you want to get praised, you want to be like, hey, I'm your daughter who's been missing for 20-something years. He just has no reaction because, again, he has nothing to claim. He didn't raise this little girl. He didn't raise you. He was asking questions about who taught you how to drive. Didn't care to ask me how my quinceañera went, right? Didn't care about anything else, but the main things that he cared about was that machismo that they're always looking for, right? So raising myself up, I have a stepfather, you know, was great and everything, but however, it still didn't fulfill me at that moment, at that age. Now I'm able to appreciate it. Back then I wasn't, you know. So this little girl growing up and feeling, my dad abandoned me, he left me. What do you think happened to all my relationships? What do you think? All of them. What happened? I was afraid that they were gonna leave. I was afraid that they were gonna abandon me. So for me, I became stronger and stronger. And I said, you know what? You could leave. If my dad left me, you could leave too. So imagine that. That was difficult. And I think for my self-esteem, I had to grow up where I had to allow a man to open the door for me. I had to allow a man to pay for me. Because this woman has worked since the age of 14, right? Having 3 jobs, going to school, graduating, doing all these things and trying to be the best that she can be to fulfill me. But yet I wasn't letting a man in, right? And you think about these little things and it's really tough because your self-esteem gets broken into pieces that you think you're at fault. You think you're at fault because you're both stronger. It makes me stronger to see myself in the mirror. And of course I went through a lot of personal development. It wasn't easy, a lot of personal development. And that's why, and this is honestly, I think the first time I probably share this even in public of my private story, but those are little pieces that built me to be stronger. And now I'm able to appreciate another relationship. I'm able to appreciate that person that's there for me, right? Because I know that you're not gonna leave me, you know, and I know that you're strong. So I think those little things, and just like Araceli has a story, I have a story, you all women have a story too. And I think when you see that, it's strong.
And that's why we always have to be understanding. And a lot of women, they shut down to the possibility of another woman entering and being friends with them. You know, I can be that girl that could be bitter and hateful and envious and jealous towards another woman, yet they keep you know, stabbing me, and yet I'm here for you, I'm here for you. And some people may say, man, you know, you're stupid. Beep. Yeah. But it's like I'm looking at people with the love of God, you know, because God wants us to love one another, right? And yeah, I get pissed off. I'm a human being. Yeah, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I talk crap, you know, and you know that, but you know, we have to so I was saying, like, how you have to understand why women act the way they do and just put yourself in their shoes, because you don't know what that person's feeling or going through in that moment or what they have in their heart. So it's really hard, and trust me, if you guys haven't read the book, The 4 Agreements,
yes,
that it like really put you in a like, it makes you think before you do something, right?
Yes.
Like how to act, how to become pretty much that will polish you into becoming a really good human being. But yeah. Anyways, moving on from self-esteem. It's yeah. So you were broken, and then what do you do to heal yourself? Like with confidence, because self-esteem and confidence go hand in hand.
They do.
Right?
Yes.
I like confidence. Everybody saw something in me, and if everybody would say like, oh, you're beautiful, oh my god, you're so talented, oh my god, you're the whole package, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it because I kept going to the past, and I kept thinking of all the damage that, you know, I saw as a child from my dad, you know, beating my mom. That was really hard, you know, and being defensive towards men, because I said I'm never gonna allow a man to treat me the way that my father treated my mom. So you become very, very like aggressive, you know, towards men. If they yell at you or whatever, you're like, excuse me. Yeah. But confidence, the self-esteem broke my confidence, and now I'm starting to build that up again. And because I've proven to myself that I can do anything, that my mind, as long as you're always constantly reading something positive for personal growth, personal development, listening to motivational videos every everybody has a story, and if you're an entrepreneur or a boss babe, or you know, you're trying to build something, you all know that that's a key to succeed, because and you will go through a lot of trembles, because is that even a word?
Trips and storms and troubles.
I think I was trying to think of this word from the Bible, but I forgot. Turbulencia.
I think you're trying to combine the English and Spanish together.
English and Spanish together. So, anyways, yeah, I do that all the time. I make up words. But tribulations.
Tribulations. There you go. You got it.
Eso. Okay, so tribulations, and but if you look at Will Smith's story, Oprah Winfrey's story, who's a great actor too. Oh my God.
2 hours later.
And, Denzel Washington.
Oh,
okay. Denzel Washington.
We got it.
They all have amazing stories. Even Bill Gates. Even I can go on and on with all these amazing people. They have all gone through. You know, they've hit the floor before they could rise to the top. But yeah. Anyways. So what do you have to say?
I think you know, again, just like with all these great actors and great, you know, actresses, you know, anyone who's out there just making a legacy for themselves, I think it does come with a good story. No one is like, you know, built to be confident, right? Or, you know, all these good things. And I think it's crazy to know, but that's what really makes you. It makes you to walk out of your house, and yes, you can get compliments all day long, but if you don't feel it, it's hard. It's hard to get up. It's hard to be like, oh great, you know. Having, you know, social media now being a factor that's affecting everything. Having, you know, us compare ourselves, and I think us as women, we're very insecure in certain things, right? I don't look like that person. I don't talk.
Single woman.
Have those insecurities.
If you say you don't have insecurities, you lie.
Yeah. No, you have one at least, or you have your competition looking elsewhere, or you know you're not looking at their story because you're like, oh no, they're gonna say something great and I don't have that great, or they're looking great, you know, and all this. But you know what's interesting there? That those women don't care to ask what you're doing. Isn't that crazy? They don't care to ask.
You inspire them, and they're your friends.
And they don't tell you. They don't react to your stories. They don't tell you like, girl, you look great. Oh my gosh, I love what you're doing. No, they're just watching over here thinking that you're not going to realize that you could see who looks at your story.
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, you're just, you know, eyeballing my stuff, and that's it. And it's funny because
I have a few ghost followers too. I call them my fans. They're my #1 fans because they look through everything, but they never say anything. Or if they won't say anything, comment anything positive, but they sure as hell will post something negative.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? That is not okay. If you're not gonna have something nice to say about someone, don't say it at all. Don't. If you want to think it, go ahead. You know, you're free to think, but don't put that poison out there for other girls to read and see. Because what kind of example are you setting? You know. So
yeah.
I mean, yes, it's my Instagram. It's your Instagram. It's your Facebook. Whatever. If you want to post whatever the hell you want, go for it. But don't say anything negative about somebody else. You know, like because there's a lot of people that lack self-esteem, or they're feeling down, and you could really, like, what if you said something so negative to that person that decide to kill themselves and they commit suicide, like, and they never knew, but you were one of the reasons. Like, how would you live with yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a sensitive factor, because we're so ignorant in our own way that women that don't feel anything for others are just out there to ruin everybody else, you know. And again, I call them just poison. Yeah, they're there to like just pour it on and just, you know, be toxic to everybody else. And in the end of the day, just keep your comments to yourself. I think that would really help everyone, because you don't know, you know, she looks amazing, right? We could all tell her like, oh my gosh, Araceli, you look great, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
You know, and that's really who she is. I mean, you should have seen the way I greeted her. I almost was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen her for such a long time. And you know, but then again, I don't know what her heart is feeling, right? I just uplifted her when she was probably at the ground, but she looks great in the outside, right? We always use that out cover, but you know, inside, you have something there that it's still, you know, it's a wound that it's trying to heal. So imagine if I come and I just look at her like this and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm here for what you asked me to be here for. What is she gonna feel like? She's probably even thinking, girl, I even got ready for you. Like, I'm here, you know, and it's true. I'm trying to look my best here. I'm trying to overcome things, and you just came to just tell me nothing, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. And I think us girls, I mean, and we're going to talk about this later on too, but and we have to bring this up, but at the same time, I think that confidence booster, it's so strong. Like, if you're able to love you do so much for yourself, you do so much for your loved ones, you do so much for everyone around you, because you love yourself. So you're not there to be toxic to anybody else, because, you know, she could see I came in no makeup on. That's how you'll see me most of the time, but, you know, she's gonna glam me up, so I'm happy. But other than that, it's just more of like, I love myself so much that I am okay to love you too. Right? I'm okay to share that love with you. I'm okay to pour into you.
Well, that's the thing. If you don't have self-love, you can't. How can you love someone else if you don't even love yourself? And you really gotta look inside, you know, because if you're I feel like, and this, you know what? Si les queda el saco, pónganselo, okay? But sometimes the things that I read, like the posts that I read on Instagram, it's like, man, who inspired you for you to find that post so you can share it and throw it at her? Like,
that's a lot of work. I don't have that time. I'm sorry.
And the energy, or to be like, let me make this girl's day. Let me try to find something to, like, para cagarle la vida, joderle la vida, you know? But no, you know, sometimes, you know, people make you sad, but you just have to, you know, forgive real quick. Just like, you know, the Bible states, you gotta forgive quick and then move forward.
Yes. And I think that's really important. And one of the biggest things that mom always said is, put a lot of baby oil on, right? Put a lot of baby oil on, because nothing could stick on, and just let it slide off, because even water will slide off. And I think, you know, and it's just really just own up to that and know that nothing could hurt your inner soul. You know, they could try to harm you. And you know what the best thing with those people? As much as they try to harm you, as much as they try...
Welcome, baby.
Here's Xavier.
My dad's gonna take me and shower.
Okay, Papa, go shower.
So I think the biggest thing is that, right? So just really just hold everything that you have, and it's okay if they're trying to hurt you. It's okay, it's natural. Because guess what? You're doing something right that they want to be like you, and they're not going to. And no matter what they try to do, and the more they're doing that, the less further they have you away, right? So even better for you, right? It's because at the end of the day, you're like, okay, good. I'm happy that you're pouring in more poison as you think you're pouring in, but at the end of the day, you're making me stronger. I'm still building, I'm still rising. You're not affecting me. I mean,
you know, if you're taking that much time and energy to talk about somebody when you could do something else like uplifting, you know what? I'm gonna give you whoever it is, because I know I used to do that too, and I'm gonna be very honest. Like, yeah, I used to take that energy to say something bad about somebody, but like, use that energy and do something. What can I do to help this person, this other person, or whoever? Just, if you're not making someone else's life better on a daily basis, you're wasting your time on this earth.
Yeah.
You need to stop being selfish and start seeing, like, take yourself out of the equation and just be like, wake up today and say, whose day can I make? Because you will come up, you will rise.
Yeah, and honestly, I want to touch a little bit on that, because I'm so like about confidence and the way you could just approach anyone and the way you could just make someone's day. There's nothing more than when you go and you just see a stranger and you help them with holding the door. You're helping them with the littlest things. You see that they're looking for a penny in their pocket at the grocery store, and you're like, oh, I have one, like, you know, or you give a compliment. Compliments are free, guys and girls. Like, compliments are so powerful, and they're so, I think it's the most, like, the value for your dollar. If you really want to get your value for your dollar, give a compliment. Yeah. It's easy. Like, it's easy just free to compliment. And free, yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, you like what they're wearing, you know, you like their hair, you know, you like their makeup, you know, you like anything that they have on.
Their booty. Anything.
Give them a compliment. Like, girl, like, you look great. You're fire. You're on. Like, what is it that you're doing? And you're going to find out things that you're later, you're like, oh my God, how awesome. Like, teach me how to do that. Or, you know, how much are you squatting? Because apparently it's not looking like mine. You know, whatever it is. It's like you want to have that. And I think you grow more of a sisterhood at that point. Because you know those troubles, you know anything, and you're able to open up to that person. Like, you know, hey, Araceli, like, I want to know what you're doing, girl. Like, I want to know what you're into. Or, and how awesome. Because now we have the sisterhood where it's like, she could ask me anything and I'm openly giving her everything. Like, an open book, you know? It could be anything, wherever she goes and she's like, oh my God, what's that restaurant? And you know, you all know those like people that post good food and you're like, I want to know where they're going to eat, but I'm not going to ask them, right? Yeah. And you're like, why? Just ask them. Yeah. And it makes them, we're just like each other.
Or like, oh my God, they went to this place, we went there, like, they copied
Share it.
No, who cares?
Yeah, like, who cares? Even better, right? Yeah. You're like, oh my gosh, we just shared something that we like the same food, or just, I think you gain so much more when you just open up.
I have a friend named Ernie Olivares. He posts the best food and stuff, and I'm always copying him. Even like one of my girlfriends too, I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to put her on blast, but she dresses super cute, and I mean, I copy her. She inspires me, and I tell her, I always tell her, you're so beautiful, and she's like, oh, stop. And she'll be like, oh, estoy gorda, and she's like this tiny, and I'm like, oh, estás bien gorda, mi hipopótamo. You know, like, but anyway, yeah, she's gorgeous and she inspires me.
Yeah, and I think that it opens up. It really does. It opens up to so much more, I think, honestly. And again, I mean, it's just coming back and just knowing like, oh my gosh, I've known Asai for years, and now we just being able to do this together is awesome. You know, being able to be here with her tonight, it's honestly a privilege at the end of the day. But there was always something, right? Always something that kept us together because we're always so honest. And we're always so
very
you know, very transparent and very just strong women just trying to make it happen out here, right? And trying to make it go and just leave a legacy more than anything for anyone it is, and just help each other out. I think that's where you gain a lot more. I don't know, it's like that's like music to my heart. Like, just keep going. We got this.
All right. Part 2.
Yes, part 2.
Hi.
Hello, we're back.
We're back, friend. Hey, so we were talking about some pretty inspiring things, and we want to leave you guys with this last topic, which is it was motivation, how to stay motivated, how to overcome negativity, and we'll leave you with that. So take it away, friend.
Perfect. So how to overcome all of this that's happening around you, right? And I think one of the most important things is just focus on what you want. Focus on your goals. Focus on your priority. Focus on what makes you happy and fulfills you. Remember, your needs, your happiness is so much different than everybody else's. And if you're able to overcome that, you will be setting yourself into confidence, self-esteem. You'll be able to empower others. You'll be able to be an influencer to others without even noticing. And I think, like we started with vulnerability, just being able to be open and vulnerable about your story, that's what makes you who you are. And go and run with that, right? Because no one is like you. No one will ever be like you. You are your own person. You do your own things. You're your own individual. And I think no matter what makes you happy, go for it. Do it. And just overcome all these noises that are happening on the side of you, because none of them have your story. Everyone has a unique story no matter where you started. So I think that's the most important thing. Just run with your story. You are who you are, and no one else can change you for that. So again, I mean, I'm just so privileged to be here with Araceli and just to be able to share this space with you guys. And girls, please take it with you. You know, you're hard, empowering, hardworking women that you are here to conquer something, you're here to make something happen. And regardless of what it is, just go with it.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for sharing some love. And I hope this isn't the last time we do this, and hopefully our camera doesn't die.
We'll have more to come later in the month.
Yes, definitely.